Welcome to another episode of the God and the Goddess podcast. I'm the Goddess Ebony, and I'm here as always with the God, Hiram Akeem. Say what's up.
Hey man, you know what? What's happening? What's going on? Let me take my glasses off so I can hear what I'm saying today. Hey man, you look beautiful, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And for the record, the favorite part of the woman for me is what?
The eyes.
Gosh darn it, you do your darn tootin'. Okay. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about domestic abuse. We're trading places, though. We're talking about the other side of domestic abuse. Men that are abused by women. It's a topic that we don't really discuss openly in any platform. Really, it's kind of touche to talk about men don't get beat by women, but in fact they do.
Let's take it in phases.
Okay.
Let's go with verbal. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's go with the top 3 ways a woman can verbally abuse a guy. Since I'm the guy, I'm gonna tell you what a woman can tell me that I feel like, dang, she's messing with me verbally.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, I respond differently, but let's just talk about the top 3 ways. Number 1, if a woman tells a guy, you ain't got no money, you broke, and this is your woman now, you broke, you have issues, and you ain't got your money right, blah, blah, blah. What you're doing is downgrading this dude, okay? If he had any muscle and hustle about himself, you done flushed the little bit he had down the toilet, okay? How about, let's say if she got daddy issues and she used to hearing, you ain't no good, you were no good at it. You about a cheater. I know you was cheating. He might be just playing PlayStation all night over his boy's house, but she literally goes with, you a no good nigga, and you a cheater, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. That can, and if I had a nickel for everybody to say, I might as well cheat it. That is domestic abuse. I mean, not domestic, it's verbal. Mm-hmm. You're causing the dude to check himself at the door. Mm-hmm. And then the number 1 way you can really mess up someone's psyche verbally if you're a woman is to talk about a man's penis size in a fit of rage. That's why you got a little style, okay? Give me the top 3. Would you agree with some of those?
Yeah, I definitely agree with some of those. Absolutely. But my 3, I'll say that I was thinking a little differently. I definitely agree with what you said. But I would say, like, for me, the number 1 way that a woman can tear a man down is by belittling him in front of other people.
That's a good one. That's because we getting the whole style out now.
Yeah.
Yo, was good 6 of them. That's a good one.
Yeah, belittling him in front of other people, especially if it's in front of people that he respects or that respects him.
Devaluing that brother.
Yeah. And not only are you devaluing him, you're devaluing him in front of other people. So now they're questioning his value as well. Sometimes that can happen, especially if it happens over and over again and he isn't doing anything to correct it. And I'm not saying like by physically hurting you or even by coming back verbally, but if he doesn't check you and put you in your place and this just continues to happen in front of these people, then they start to look at you differently. So not only is she devaluing you, now your value in the eyes of other people has dropped as well.
Okay, that's 1.
All right. Number 2, I would definitely agree with the name calling. I wouldn't say any specific name, but calling him out of his name. The number 1 thing that I think men hate to be called that women call a man when they're mad is bitch. What's my favorite word?
Okay, right.
Okay, I'm gonna get back off of too short, but yeah, like calling a man a bitch, I feel like is one of the number 1 ways to devalue him. And I'd say my 3rd is to pick on his educational level. You know, maybe like in front of other people or on social media, how people correct spelling or somebody might not say something right, you know, or when you do that in a relationship on a constant basis, that can make him feel like you don't think he's smart enough or you don't see, you know, intelligence in him. I have another one, but you said 3.
So it's your show.
Okay, let me throw one more in. Then like when he's talking or explaining himself, you're always cutting him off and speaking for him. Then that makes also kind of
speaking over him too.
Yeah, speaking over him or speaking for him. Yeah, that kind of devalues him as well.
Yeah, like we're not twins. You can't finish my thought now.
Yeah. It makes it feel like you don't think he's smart enough to think for himself, or you don't trust what he's gonna say,
or you don't want to hear.
Hey, I wasn't gonna say that, but some people don't. They don't care what you got to say. They only care what they have to say.
So let's wrap up the verbal abuse part. So when you feel like you're being verbally abused, when you're getting dealt with the wrong way by a lady's words, okay, you can man up and hawk up all you want to. That's just going to lead into something else, brother.
Yes.
Okay, if you feel like a lady is devaluing you and don't have you in that position of respect, get out while you can, because verbal leads up to something else.
Yeah, and if you do value that relationship, I would say try talking to her and maybe even couples counseling, especially if it's a long-term relationship and you don't want to just give up on the relationship. But there does come a point when you have to just exit the relationship for your own mental and emotional well-being.
Okay, because if it don't, it leads up to that physical.
Yes,
that
it definitely.
Physical abuse.
It definitely
and
does.
So let's just go ahead. You speak on that about how men getting dealt with.
And it's crazy because I've actually seen it with my own eyes numerous times, and it's crazy that to see a woman physically assault a man. And sometimes I know that women get angry, but there should never come a point where you get so angry that you put your hands on somebody that you care about, especially a man. And one thing that's always bothered me is when women do that in front of other people. And that's when they tend to do it, especially if it's other women around, because then they feel like they got backup if he, swing back or something like that. Because now when you put your hands on him in front of other people, other women, that makes him look less than. And I would never, as a woman, want to make my man look less than in front of anybody. I don't even like to argue with my man in front of somebody. If he do something in front of people that I feel is disrespectful, normally I would try to address it when we are alone. If it can't wait, then I'll still pull him to the side and speak to him. But I would never put my hands on him.
What if you find out your son getting dealt with in the wrong, brutal way? What would you expect your son to do? If you see your son's wife slap him up inside the head and call him a dummy,
let me tell you a story.
What would you do?
I seen, and I told you this story before, so you might remember it.
Don't put their names.
I'm not putting nobody's names out there. My brother dated this girl that was whooping his ass. Like, she wasn't just whooping his ass, like she was whooping his ass. She hit him with one of them red flyer wagons. If y'all got kids, you know what I'm talking about, them metal wagons. Smacked him right upside the head with one of them. She jumped him with like 4 or 5 of his friends, and my brother... Her friends, 4 or 5 other females, and my brother would never hit this girl back, even though he could have, but he never wanted to put his hands on her because he cared about him. I had to sit my brother down one day like, yo, if you don't do something, I'm going to do something. And I'm not telling you to beat her up, but you need to defend her, restrain her, stop her. Yeah. Defend yourself, stop her from doing this to you. Let her know that this stuff will not be tolerated or in the relationship. And eventually that's what happened. The relationship was ended because she was just violent.
Do you think if a lady hits a man, he have the right to protect himself and hit her back, or just bundle up and say, don't hit me and run?
No. I definitely agree that if a woman hits you, you have the right to defend yourself however you see fit. And if that is with a fist, because what if she's trying to stab you? You can't just bundle her up. You're going to have to hit her one time and make her think twice about what she's doing.
Why you had to come with the sound effects, though?
But all I'm saying is, like, there's a difference between defending yourself and hitting somebody to try to hurt them or kill them. If she gets hurt in the process, that's different. But a man knows the difference between beating somebody up and just getting somebody up off of them. And now if you got to hit her once or twice to get her up off of you, that's different. Because I definitely remember stories in the paper and hearing stories from men like that have been stabbed by, like this man that was stabbed one time by this girl, right in the chest, dead.
Because he didn't want to protect himself.
Yeah, because he didn't want to put his hands on her. But she's steady putting her hands on him.
Do you raise your son if a lady hits you to protect yourself and hit back?
Always have. Because my son was the only boy in my household. It was me, my 2 daughters, and my niece. And him and my niece were the same age. And then my sister's 2 kids were always at my house. My cousin's daughter was at my house. All of them girls and just him. Yes, I taught him, you better defend yourself, but don't you hit these girls to hurt them. You're bigger than them, you're stronger than them. You know how to defend yourself without hurting them. And my niece pulled a knife on him one time, and he still defended himself. I wasn't there. But
you had to adjust.
But he defended himself without hurting her, and she never pulled a knife on him again.
Okay, let's go.
Get back into the subject.
No, that's the subject though. Give me top 3 ways that a man should handle the situation when a woman is whooping his ass.
I would say the first is not put yourself in that situation. There are signs leading up to that.
What if there's no sign? What if she just sucker punched him one time, boom, out of nowhere?
That's your first sign, so you know you need to leave.
Instant leave.
Sign 1.
So it's different than a verbal You can deal with them, try to work it out verbally, but if somebody hit you, it's instant eject.
I wouldn't say just that. Like, it's not just cut and dry, like deal with them if it's verbal. There's certain situations, where I would try to work it out. But sometimes people have shown a repeated pattern and you know that this is who they are and they're not going to change. Or sometimes you didn't see that repeated pattern, but you're seeing it now and they're saying, I'm not going to change because I don't see nothing wrong with me. You need to leave. But if you're with somebody that does see a problem with their behavior and they're willing to put in the work necessary to change, yeah, I would say at least give it a try if you care about that person.
I tell you what, that's number one. If a chick hit the man, you said exit, non-negotiably. Ain't no working that out.
No, not at all.
Okay, number two.
I don't think there is no number two. Like,
I mean, no, if a lady threatened to hit you, like, boy,
If
I
she-
should,
oh,
if
if
she grabs
she
something, like,
threatening-
boy, I should,
Yeah,
like, boy, I will throw
if
this to you.
she's showing signs of violence, not necessarily hitting you, like you said, breaking stuff, or maybe she's hitting people around her, she's always getting in arguments with people, always getting in fights, and never accepting responsibility for her actions, I would say those are signs that you should just leave. She clearly has a problem and she hasn't recognized that she has a problem and she's not ready to.
Okay, give me one more of to look at this girl and be like, you know what? She's a brawler. She's gonna do me any minute. I need to get out of here. Name one more. I can name one if you can.
I will say that this just popped in my head. If she's a type of female that constantly says, I don't have no friends, I can't get along with people, she's not close with anybody in her family, it's always everybody else's fault. I don't talk to this person because they did this. I don't talk to them. There is something wrong with her. Because it can't be everybody else.
Let me add something to you.
Go ahead.
Okay, where I'm from, and I know it's not going to be popular in Akron, but I am sick and tired of hearing our beautiful queens, sisters, telling me that they ain't punks. Okay? When you call a man a punk, you're saying he has feminine qualities. Okay? Mm-hmm. So it confuses me when a woman says she ain't one. She wants to be seen hyper masculine. She want to be hyper masculine and stuff like that. And when a chick starts talking like that, I ain't no punk, I'm a thug, I ride and stuff like that, I'm done. You're not even in you're not even manifesting your divine feminine quality. It's gone. You a dude, and you are one of those kinds that will come and possibly try to hit me because you're talking like that. So, I'm done with this, man.
And I can see what you mean, because a lot of females feel like they have to be tough. They have to present themselves as tough, like they're not weak. And a lot of guys, I won't say a lot, but some guys want that tough image. They want that ride or die chick. They know if something happened, I'm telling you, I know people, they want to, just like I know guys that want to know that they girls gonna be straight. Like if some stuff pop off, they can handle themselves. They can, but
handle themselves like
fighting or
no.
Yeah. There's guys that want their girl to be tough, but most men want a feminine, soft female. But there are some that want a tough female.
And it's also homosexuals out there too. I just want to put that out there. Take us out of here, Ebony.
You're so silly, but before we get up out of here, I do want to say, on a serious note, if you are in a situation where you're being abused verbally, mentally, emotionally, or even sexually, because I have heard stories and talked to men personally that have been sexually assaulted by females. It does happen. If you're in a situation where you're being abused, please don't be afraid or embarrassed to reach out. I would rather you reach out and get help from somebody then put yourself in a situation where now you're in jail or you've hurt this person that you care about because you didn't get help sooner. And that goes for women as well. If you're in a situation where you are the violent one and you are abusing people in your life and you don't want to live like that anymore, we can get you help as well. Just reach out. We're here to help. And we're up out of here.
Hey, man, thank you very much. You look dope. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, peace.
Peace.